Yo, what's up, guys? This is Bryce with another Man Talk. I'm going to tell you about one of the craziest experiences of my life. The time I spent 4 days and nights in the woods by myself, no one, just a bag of food and a tarp, basically. So, when I was 18, I went to a wilderness therapy program. I was using drugs and alcohol on a daily basis, had a lot of mental health issues, getting in trouble, failing college. I just needed some help real bad. So, I went there. I wasn't excited about it, I didn't like it. And at the end of the program, they offered the option for us to do a vision quest, which is a Native American tradition where it's a rite of passage for boys to go out by themselves and then come back as men. So yeah, it was fitting for where I was at in my life. And so the day comes and I'm excited to finally get away from people and stop doing the groups and the therapy and like people tell me what to do and watching me. And we drive up in the Appalachian Mountains. There's like 4 other dudes that are doing this in separate locations from me, like clients. And we go down into this gully and get to this clearing, and we all get blindfolded voluntarily. And we get led away to wherever our spot's going to be. So I just walk, like stumbling through the woods. They're kind of helping me. And we get to this spot just in the middle of the woods and take the blindfold off. And they're like, okay, on the 5th day, you'll hear a drum beat and you just walk to it. And that's it. And I was like, all right, fair enough. And I had a whistle in case like something was wrong. That was like my one out, and a bag of food and a tarp and a sleeping bag basically. And I was pretty psyched on that. I was like, yeah, this is going to be really fun. And the first day I kind of stayed busy climbing trees, walking around, I don't know, doing random stuff. But that night, my zipper on my sleeping bag broke, and we had summer gear because this was the end of October, and so I was actually out there for Halloween, I remember, and it got down below freezing, and I couldn't zip up my sleeping bag, so it was freezing, and I didn't sleep, and I woke up the next day just like filled with anxiety, and I was running around doing jumping jacks to create some body heat, wake myself up, and then something happened. I don't even remember what thought triggered it, but I just started sobbing uncontrollably and collapsed against this tree and was just like kind of hugging this tree and just like completely overwhelmed with emotion. And I had no idea what was happening. And eventually I just like cried myself out, and I like fell asleep and woke up again in the sun and was like just kind of delirious. And this went on for 4 days. Like it really didn't get much better. Like I went in and out of like sobbing and then being kind of like a little bit delirious, and then maybe some pieces of like joy when the sun would shine through the trees, but mostly it was just exhausting. And on the 5th day, I thought about giving up so many times, but I didn't hear anyone else blow the whistle, so I like really wanted to, I didn't want to be the one to give up. And so on the 5th day, wake up early, waiting, and they waited hours. I don't know what time it was. I didn't have a watch or a flashlight or anything. Waited hours. It was probably 10 or 11, close to lunch by the time they started the drum beat, and I just like marched through the woods, had my stuff packed, and I finally get to this place where I see the clearing that we had started in. I see everyone circled up, and I just like was just filled with joy and happiness, and I walked up, and we're still not talking. We have to do this whole ceremony first. And I just keep fucking it up because I'm just laughing and giggling the whole time. I think I had like a screw loose at that point. But I was just filled with like joy, and just seeing these other guys and these people again. I just really realized how much connection meant to me. And that's just an experience that really changed my life in a lot of ways. Like I had so much time to be with myself and let things bubble up, that I think it shaped me. Like I really know what it's like to be just with me, and how important that experience needs to be, and how much I need to heal within myself to be okay to do something like that, because I was not okay when that happened. I was not okay. I survived it, and so now I think part of my meditation practice is just doing that in smaller bits, for 30 minutes or an hour. And it's really important to let that stuff bubble up, because as guys, And everyone does this, I think, to a certain extent. How are you doing? Good. How are you? Good. But if you're really to take a few seconds or a few minutes there and just let whatever's really happening come up, there's just a wealth of information and a wealth of emotional music that comes to light. And if we don't take the time intentionally to do that, or to have someone support us in doing that, we don't really know what's happening. And then it just like bursts out in fits of rage or depression, or we go to drugs and alcohol, we go to porn, we cycle through relationships that are unfulfilling because we don't really know how to be with our experience. And being with another person in relationship is extremely hard. We can only be with them as much as we can be with ourselves. So it's not long before, when the honeymoon phase wears off, that we start judging people, for especially women, for being too emotional, for overreacting, when really this is our own inability to be with ourselves and what we're experiencing. When we see them having an experience that's scary to us, we judge them. That's how it works. So what's the message here is that you need to cultivate this ability to be by yourself and to let emotions bubble up through you, and to really experience all that there is inside of you, or else your life's going to seem dull and boring and flat, and you're going to feel numb and stuck. Those are the main words I hear from guys. They feel frustrated and stuck and flat. And I think all of that really boils down to just an inability to feel. It takes practice. We're not born, we're not with this ability, we're not modeled it. Most people are not modeled it by their parents and their families and other men in their life. So we got to come together. It takes mentors. It takes a community to do this. That's what it took for me. Now I'm able to do it on my own a fair amount. But if you're just getting started, you need a tribe. You need mentors. And you got to find them. They're not just going to come to you. So that's the message for today. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed.